This is going to be fun. 48 hours until the 2024 NBA Finals begins in Boston between the Celtics and the Mavericks. We play a game of NBA buy or sell, using the finals to have some big picture and legacy conversations live right here on this Tuesday on the early line. So, DRS, let's dive right in. Buy or sell with a title. Luka Doncic is the best player in the world. Luka Doncic into the NBA Finals, leading the Dallas Mavericks into the NBA Championship Series for the first time in 13 years. So that is the buy or sell. With a title, Luka Doncic is the best player in the world.
We are a what have you done for me lately society. If the Dallas Mavericks win the world championship over the Celtics, who are a heavy favorite to win the NBA championship, then absolutely. Even though common sense is, now hold on. The MVP is based on a season long here. It's Luka Doncic, and, it's going up against some other players who are very good, and Nikola Jokic involved, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. Look, hear me out on that. Yes, theoretically, he's probably not the best overall. But if he wins the championship, I'm giving him those rights right now, because if I see a series that goes 6 or 7 games and Luka is putting up triple-double after triple-double and basically saying, I am putting Dallas and the Mavericks on my back here, myself and Kyrie Irving, we're going to beat this immovable object in the Boston Celtics, then why not? Absolutely. He wins a world championship here. He is the best player in the world. I'll give it to him.
Luka Doncic is already a top 5 player in the NBA, and frankly, I don't think it's 4 or 5. So let's call it top 3. But I still think the best player on planet Earth is Nikola Jokic. Nobody really does what he does still to this point. If you were building a franchise, who would you take, Doncic or Jokic? I think either makes sense. Again, Luka Doncic is already a top 5 player and arguably top 3, but I still believe Nikola Jokic, even if they were to match each other in terms of NBA championships, is the best player in the association. That is still how I see it. Luka Doncic, again, already top 3, but I still give the nod to Jokic, Donnie.
No, I can't argue with you at this point because, what have you done for me lately? We haven't seen it lately yet, which means a championship here for Luka Doncic. I love him. I think he is a top 3, top 4, top 5 player, argumentative, and also next year. If you're looking at, and let's just say they even lose this. I'm like, take a step further. Let's just say Dallas loses, but Doncic plays well. You know who's going to be the favorite to win the MVP next year? It's going to be Luka Doncic over everybody else. So I'm taking it now where I'm saying, I don't know what's going to happen in the NBA Finals, but if it's positive for Luka, I'm going to give it to him here because I love to live in the moment. And what I just saw was probably an unbelievable finals performance after an unbelievable run throughout the final half of the NBA season. I'll give it to him on that aspect.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to bet Luka Doncic before next year begins in terms of winning the NBA MVP award, because Nikola Jokic is probably going to be the favorite, having won it 3 times in the last 4 years. You would expect Joel Embiid to be there as well, but with the 65-game minimum, not going to bet JoJo. With Nikola Jokic winning it 3 times in the past 4 years, not going to bet the Joker. I think Luka Doncic is the answer. In fact, I think the best bet to win the NBA Finals MVP award is Luka Doncic, and yet I still would give the nod to Nikola Jokic as the best player on planet Earth, despite what Doncic is doing. And what Luka Doncic is doing throughout this NBA playoff run is also historical. He scored 28 points in all of the 5 games against Minnesota, 30 points twice, or 30 points in 4 of those 5 games in that series. He has now recorded 9 playoff triple-doubles in his young career. That's already in the top 10 in the history of NBA playoff action. Now we go to the other guy. I said Luka Doncic was the best bet to win NBA Finals MVP because if Dallas wins, and if Dallas wins, it is only Luka Doncic. I don't think the Mavericks win an NBA championship without Luka Doncic being arguably the best player, or at least a 1A. To the other side of things, though, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP was not Jayson Tatum. It was Jaylen Brown. And Tatum is the odds-on favorite, however, to be that NBA Finals MVP. We look at what Jayson Tatum has done throughout his playoff resume. 24 points per game, 108 postseason games already, 5 appearances in the conference finals. This his second in the NBA Finals for the second time in the last 3 years. But they came up short to Golden State 2 years ago. They did not reach the NBA Finals, a season ago. Donnie, as we have said for the Celtics franchise, they are judged not by winning the East, not by a playoff berth, not by the NBA's best regular season record, but by winning an NBA championship. So buy or sell to you, Jayson Tatum, as the superstar for Boston, is under the most pressure in the 2024 NBA Finals.
Buy, absolutely. Because if Jayson Tatum doesn't win an NBA championship this year, it should be buy to him from Boston, because I don't know how he can return. Look, and sometimes you overstate this, right? He's a great player. Right. Boston is lucky to have him. They would love to have him for another 10 years, but they also want to get the winning that goes associated with a great player. And also, when we talk about sometimes LeBron James, let's just say his first go-around in Cleveland didn't work out in their favor. Tried his best, but what most people were saying? Well, nobody can win a championship in Cleveland, not even the great LeBron James. Goes to Miami, wins a couple championships, but he does return back and finally gets that job done. But if you are Jayson Tatum, you're taking, look, this isn't the little engine that could when LeBron's first go-around in Cleveland was like, well, he's going up against unbelievable teams, and it's just himself. No, Jayson Tatum is a fantastic basketball player on an unbelievably talented and deep basketball team that is favored to win the NBA Finals. And if Boston doesn't get it done this year, when will they ever get it done? So absolutely, Jayson Tatum, by far the most pressure in these finals. It's on his shoulders. Bone-crushing pressure for him, Ben.
The third time you will hear bye throughout this show, because I agree with Donnie, without a shadow of a doubt. The most pressure in the NBA Finals is on Jayson Tatum. His Boston team is the historic franchise. His Celtics team, judged by NBA championships and trying to hang banner number 18, their first NBA title since 2008. It is squarely on the shoulders of Jayson Tatum. If they come up short, sure, there will be plenty to blame. Joe Mazzulla, Jaylen Brown, so on and so forth. But first and foremost, it will focus on Jayson Tatum. And if the Celtics come up short, what does that ultimately mean? That Jayson Tatum was by far not the best player in this series, playing second stage to Luka Doncic. We will talk about the Celtics and their history up next. Buy or sell continues the 2024 NBA Finals edition, 2 days away from the start of the finals this season in Beantown, inside TD Garden, game number 1 on Thursday night. Inside TD Garden, 17 championship banners hang, DRS. That's tied for the most in NBA history, alongside the Los Angeles Lakers. Those are the only two organizations that have double-digit NBA championships. Jayson Tatum and LeBron James on there for the Lakers. All right, I'll let that slide. 17 for both of those organizations. But buy or sell, put that smile away. Stop licking your lips. Put that smile away. Buy or sell, the Celtics are the greatest franchise in NBA history.
Look, if you put it to a vote right now, LeBron James probably is the greatest Laker of all time. So we do think that LeBron James should be up there on that quick little graphic. But having said that, to me, like, rivalries in the East, and you try to look at the bias out of the way, because I don't like the city of Boston. I don't like Boston's teams any bit, because I'm from Philadelphia, and that's just what we do. We like to hate on other organizations, particularly that have a lot more success than our organizations do. But having said that, sometimes you do take a step back and say, how many championships these two teams have won, and look around the NBA. It's amazing. Like, Boston versus LA was not just some fictitious thing they would chant in the 1980s, beat LA, beat Boston or whatever, because these two teams have won a lot of them. But Boston won a lot of championships a long time ago. So my nod here would go towards the Los Angeles Lakers, just because they have a lot of championships, but also have a nice little balance in those championships. Win some there in the 80s, win some there, in the early 2000s. And by the way, they won that championship in 2000, 2001, 2002, 9, 10, and then 20. So just for the recent relevancy here of the Los Angeles Lakers, I would give the nod to them. Equal balance on championships itself, but again, just for what have you done for me lately so much in the past 25 years, it's been much more Lakers, along with also having a very rich history as well.
Completely agreed, Donnie. Very well said. As DRS knows very well, I grew up in the Los Angeles area. Growing up, I was a fan of the Kobe and Shaq. Growing up, I was a Kobe and Shaq fan. And then it became, is that Corey Maggette? Did Corey Maggette just get a shout-out during an NBA final? Fantastic. Yeah. I love that. Oh, Darius Miles, good one as well. I grew up a huge Lakers fan. I was a diehard Lakers fan. I am not so much a Lakers fan anymore because I often admit that I grew up for most of my life hating on LeBron James and advocating for why Kobe Bryant was a greater all-time player. I do not make the same arguments. You want to have a one-on-one conversation, I might have that with you at another date. But the Lakers are a better all-time franchise than that of the Boston Celtics. 32 NBA Finals appearances to Boston's 23, the same amount of NBA championships. Why? Because of Bill Russell. 11 of the 17 NBA titles for the Celtics came between 1957 and 1969. The Celtics have one NBA championship since the mid-1980s. It was 2008. The Lakers are a better all-time franchise. Buy or sell next up as we look at Finals MVP breakdowns. Coming from the winning team, 54 of the 55 times. The only guy ever to win it from a losing team, that was Jerry West back in 1969. I believe he won the Finals MVP, averaging 38 points per game, virtually losing out to Bill Russell's Celtics, if I am not mistaken. The last time it got close, 2015, that was when LeBron went off for Cleveland, but they lost out. Ultimately did the Cavaliers to the Warriors, and Andre Iguodala won the NBA Finals MVP. So buy or sell, DRS. The Finals MVP will never come from the losing team again.
I'll buy that. It's not coming from a losing team. It's not designed to come from a losing team. And certainly, if players are putting up 35 to 45 points a game, that team probably did win the NBA Finals. I just think it's the way of the product. And it's a shame because you do have those unbelievable efforts by a team that you might think is not as good as the other one. And guys put up Herculean jobs, just like LeBron James in that losing effort. But it's designed to go to the winning team. I don't think it's ever going to go against to another losing. And also, if it was recent, like Ben, past 5 years it happened, like, maybe it could happen again, even if that was the only time it happened. But the fact that it happened so long ago, the precedent has been set. It's a victory award for the team that won and also the best player on the team that won. And by the way, Iguodala,
it's also a narrative award. Yeah, I know. Iguodala. I agree. But listen, it is a narrative award. Yes, people's legacies and maybe some financial incentives are decided by how these hardware are given out. But it's a narrative award, and you are always going to find at least somebody enough to celebrate on a victorious team than give it to the best loser. It's just how things work.